power of this technology goes so far beyond what like the typical like table conversation about VR gives it credit for. You know, like we talk about it as like a useful tool or an immersive, fun experience, but what we're talking about is like truly transformational.
It should be perfectly possible to trick your brain into any experience if your brain can already do that itself naturally. So VR is almost like taking that ability for our brain to generate any experience for us and like putting it in our hands, which is wild.
Man, that's something in the history books. People are going to look back and be like, yeah, 2022, 2023. That's when education, after hundreds of years, finally upgraded.
We're in a strange time where our physical worlds are intersecting with our digital identities, and right now is a time to kind of determine what you want that to be.
Once you have full body tracking that works well and it's frictionless, right? Meaning it's easy to do.
Yes.
It's a whole new. It's not a game changer. It's a whole new game.
So maybe there will be some other people who would be curious to see what I'm learning, what I'm discovering, so to say. And that's how the Discover YouTube channel started.
Oh, not really Disco VR, Discover.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel bad when people ask me about VR, or they're like, what do you do? Like, all right.
Yeah.
You asked, here it comes.
I love VR, but I love going out and breathing fresh air. And not only was I stuck in VR for 10 days, I was stuck in one room because I was streaming, you know, the same space. I didn't see the sunlight. I totally lost track of what time everything was.
She dances with the robot. She does the first steps. She dances with that robot. She takes that thing off her fist. I have the video. I'm holding it hostage. She takes it off her head and she says, I gotta have it.
There are a few moments in my life I can remember very vividly. The day I got married, the day my kids were born, the day Facebook announced that they bought Oculus is one of those days. I was making chili.
I've been in a lot of gaming communities, and the VR community is by far the best community that I've ever been involved with.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Between Realities podcast. That's right, baby. It is a pleasure to see you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for joining us on this incredible Wednesday. We do live shows on Wednesdays now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird a little bit still.
I mean, yeah, it's hump day.
It is hump day. Mm-hmm. Our buddy Qcreator, who oftentimes in previous seasons would start out our live stream comment section proclaiming that it is now the weekend.
I know, I'll miss that. I'll miss the weekend, man.
Well, Mike Newton's been in my DMs and he's like, man, I'm gonna have to come up with something else. I guess it's hump day, so yeah. Maybe it's hump day now, you know. Yeah. But we'll find a way to memorialize these Wednesdays, and really turn Wednesdays into BR Wednesdays.
And that's if they just stay Wednesdays. I know that rush hour traffic is such a bummer for you now. Man,
it does suck.
I'm so sorry.
It does suck. It adds 50% time to my commute to the Between Reality spaceship.
Yep.
What would normally be a 30-minute drive is now a 45-minute drive, and it's not a comfortable one. Like you're like stopping on the highway, and there's like red lights everywhere, and yeah.
No, you think with the ship technology I could just go beam you up.
Well, that's our commitment to doing this in the same room. Which, by the way, if you're out there thinking that we do this remotely, we hate you. Okay? Because there's no reason for you to think that.
We don't hate you. We love you.
Well, don't say, okay, I guess it's not a we thing. We're in the same room. Deal with it. If you don't appreciate and respect that, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh man,
I'm drinking coffee at 6:30 p.m. and I would have it no other way.
Wow. Yeah. Good for you, man. I would be up until tomorrow night.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I can have like 2 like heavily caffeinated beverages a day and like still sleep like
funny.
a baby.
Man, growing up, like I'd go to family events and it would be like 9 o'clock at night, and my family would be like, "Who wants coffee?" You know, and everyone would be drinking coffee, and then people be going home like 2 hours later, like, "I'm tired." What do you got? You guys are crazy.
I really appreciate your East Coast. Who wants coffee?
Who wants coffee?
Who wants coffee?
Who wants coffee?
Man, we got the East Coast in the house tonight.
We do. We do. And my accent was not where these guys are from. I was doing in New York, which I am from Boston.
You're from Boston.
I am.
That's right, baby.
Yep.
That's right. You're from Boston. Well,
right.
I can't believe it's been a week, bro. That was literally the shortest week of all time.
I know.
Like, I felt like I like walked out the door and just turned around and came right back in. Like, it was instantaneous. This snuck up on me.
This is true. Yeah. And in between there, we had Todd from Q2C come down to Arizona and visit. We went and hung out with him. We had some of the most amazing tacos ever.
That's right.
God dang, that place was delicious, man.
Shout out La Santísima here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Man.
Salsa bar with like 30 different salsas on it and like a bunch of like legit, authentic, with a twist Mexican food.
Yeah. If you ever come to Phoenix, I highly suggest it.
Yeah, and if you play your cards right, you'll get me to buy dinner for you too.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Oh, my
thanks.
pleasure. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
That was delicious.
Well, oftentimes like if I'm gonna invite like some people to like the spot that I picked, like it like sometimes feels right to be like, all right, I picked this place.
Aww.
Like I had you guys.
That's so nice.
Here, you know what I mean? Like,
so I was like, man, Alex is such a jerk. He's making Todd drive all the way out. It's just be like $200 in Uber rides.
Yeah.
Had no idea he had a rental car.
Oh, well, see, there you go. Maybe next time you should mind your own business, all right? Let me do my thing.
For real. I love you, man.
I love you. And I love Todd and his family. Shout out to the Jacksons for hanging out with the Between Realities crew.
Heck yeah.
While they were here in town.
Yep.
Oh, my God, man. Well, I guess we should just kind of, I don't know, like, what's up? How was your week?
Oh, it was good. I mean, it was just crazy. We are I guess we can talk about this a little when our guests come on, but we are 6 days from launching our first Flats of VR Studios official title. And so it's been chaos because we're still launching games for all the other studios too. And now our games. So it's just been absolutely nutty at work. So
it has been super crazy.
Yeah.
Trombone Champ went into Impact Labs this week, and like 100 people or more got access to the game. And of course, what am I worried about? My high scores. Like, I don't want some of these people.
Have you been dethroned yet?
Not even close.
What?
Not even close.
What?
Although I will say the Steam leaderboards and the Quest leaderboards are not connected right now. It doesn't matter because I haven't seen anything on Steam that's going to compare. But so far, I'm good. I really do think that the day the game comes out, it's just going to land in the hands of a genius.
You'll probably get annihilated.
I think so.
I mean, that's usually how it goes. But who knows, man?
Whatever. Listen, like I said, dude, I'm relishing in this. I'm going to hold on to this thing for as long as possible because it's a really fun game. I am like very optimistic that it's going to be popular. Like, I don't know if that's just us because like, we're a part of Flat VR and like, that's the vision and the dream or whatever. But like, I have not seen a lot of negative takeaways from
I don't think there's been any. Look, this game, obviously we have a bias to it, but the thing is we all played it and we all got addicted to it, and it's stupid fun.
Yeah, it is.
Like, we know VR and we know VR mechanics, and everyone at Flat VR knows VR mechanics, and like, they crushed it, man.
They did. I don't want to keep these guys out of the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's quickly say hi to those who are joining us here on this amazing Wednesday evening. It's like Wednesday in the middle of the night if you're overseas, and if you're catching this at 2:30 or 3:30 a.m., a special shout out to you because that's late.
Yes.
I don't know what you're doing up. I do not stay up that late. You used to stay up that late all the time.
I still stay up that late when I don't have my kid and I don't have to bring her to school at like 6 something in the morning. Right?
Fair.
But I'm still a night owl through and through.
Well, good for you. Yep. I am not. Like 10 p.m. and I am like literally falling asleep. Red/Ace was first in the chat today by some hours. Like, and then he was counting it down like a few hours to go, 1 hour to go, 30 minutes. Red/Ace, bro. Thank you for being here. Also, the Bearded Bard slid into chat earlier. Great to see him. Hope all is well, brother. And let's
Bearded
just chat
Bard,
sometime.
man, what a good dude.
Yeah,
I miss him.
Yeah, me too. He was a lot of fun.
Daniel.
Really fun and really funny.
Yep.
And his Facebook makes me cringe so much, man. You want to cringe?
For real.
Tune into the Bearded Bard on Facebook. Shit. Brandon VR is here. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Brandon?
I would love to join your squad.
Just ate some McDonald's. Heck yeah, man. 1 week or 2 weeks and I'll be having some McDonald's. Going to the Netherlands. Full plant-based McDonald's menu. Burgers, nuggets, everything. Super stoked. Super stoked.
McDonald's is an evil corporation.
It is.
I want to give them $1 of my time.
But I give them a couple dollars once a year, maybe.
Which is fine. I'm no judgment. No judgment, but never do that. I even ate fast food when I went to Europe. Like one of those times, I had like Burger King or something because everybody says it's better overseas, you know. And then everybody overseas comes here and like, I gotta have American McDonald's, you know. So whatever,
totally,
whatever. JJ Bonta, what's up, man? Hyped for this one? So are we. I'm excited to get into it here. Chadwick76 is in the house. Amelia Faust, like hardcore Ruff Talk VR fan there. Great to have her here in the Between Realities crew as well. Patch S406, what's up? Played a lot of AZ Sunshine Remake this week. Good for you. And those
I love that game.
Sunshine games are awesome.
Love that game.
Inferno 9 in the house. Yo, good to see you as well. Salvador is in the house. We've got Hussein X as always.
Hey,
just for years, just chilling in the chat.
What a dude.
For years.
Man.
It's amazing.
Good guy.
Getting things done. Jay Dunn, Joy Rain. Get him to the metaverse in the house.
Go.
The littiest VR podcast in the space.
Littiest.
It is the littiest.
All right.
And if you're not paying attention, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. You need to go like and subscribe.
That's a great show.
It is.
Yep.
Dude, seriously,
the energy,
hypest intro.
Yeah, the energy there is off the charts.
Nothing compares.
Yep.
Like literally nothing compares. I'm not even going to try. Haruku is here.
Hey,
Haruku just bearing the sigil of Impact Labs, man. Like, absolutely. Just leading the charge.
He actually has a lab coat with the Impact Labs logo on it.
He's like
super sick.
He's like a general, on the ground, like in gear, fighting alongside of the soldiers.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful.
Awesome guy.
Beat Saberita is here.
Hey,
Beat Saberita, who by the way had her video posted by Beat Saber today.
Oh no way!
Yeah, like natively, like organically.
Dang, that's pretty sick.
They're like, hey, what's up? Check out Monster Cat, and this video is Beat Saberita.
Wow,
which is pretty cool.
That's rad.
Yeah, I feel like that's got to be that's
the ultimate.
As a Beat Saber player, they're sharing your content.
Yep,
that's beautiful.
That's the ultimate.
Congrats, and I know that Beat Saberita is just getting started in her journey of content creation. She's gonna blow up one of these days.
Heck yeah.
Quick Cosplay is here. What's up, girl?
Hey, Quick Cosplay.
Good to see you, Becca.
Miss you.
This week, all right?
Got some Demio going
battles, campaign, whatever you want. But this week, Earth Witness is here. Earth is in the house. Everybody loves Earth. It is literally my favorite planet. Hands down, by far my favorite planet.
Sometimes I think it's okay. Dude, not always.
It's sick, man. It's sick.
It's really pretty.
We've got Las Tacos here.
Yeah, this is true.
We've got Batman on Quest 3 here. You know, we've got it all.
Heck yeah. Man, Jay Brat in the chat screaming 50 days until the Between Realities party.
Is it 50 days?
I guess so.
That sounds like a lot, but I know those days are going to evaporate.
Oh, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada, Between Realities party. Going to be off the hook.
Are you in charge of a marketing budget and would like to sponsor the Between Realities party? Hit us up.
Well, let us know.
We've got opportunities because this thing's going to be expensive and we need to get it paid for.
Yep.
And we wouldn't mind sharing the spotlight with you.
Heck yeah.
So reach out if you are hearing this and you care and you love us, which you do and you do and you do. So there it is. Jamie Rex, I don't know if I said hi, but what's up, Jamie Rex? Good to see you. And I think we're getting pretty much caught up. MickeyBerr flying in.
Hey, Mickey.
MickeyBerr in the house. This is all beautiful. Kensei Gaming, thanks for being here.
Kensei, what's up, dude?
And I'm going to follow up with you on those dinner plans, bro. We're going to make that happen. All right, listen. There is another duo of podcasters in this world.
There is.
Who
might they be?
Are good at what they do and like have a larger audience than us, and it makes me mad. And I really like them, and we have a lot of fun. And one of them works with us at Impact Reality Flat to VR Studios, and we hung out with them in Germany. And I'm just going to say hello and thank you for being here. And everybody, please help me in welcoming Ruff Talk VR, Brian, Damien, Ruffy, the boys, the father-son duo. What is up, dudes? Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
I've loved listening to the pre-show, and this I got a lot to comment on. One being, I don't know if we're bigger than you guys. Look at this live chat going on here.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at all
pretty
the
banging.
Dude, you guys don't do live shows, though, do you?
You know, so
yeah, you
This
guys
live
are
chat
like
is
pre-recorded.
a place to be. And I will say, Alex drinking coffee at 6 p.m. I'm over here almost 9 p.m. Almost done with my cup of coffee, so we unite.
And we've got
ready
our
to go.
matching cups. I've got a Between Realities mug. You've got a Ruff Talk mug.
Heck
like,
yeah.
how cute are we? This is pretty cute.
Come on, it was meant to be. This is a big one too. We got the, when podcasts collide. I'm excited.
Dude, for real, like you guys have, I hope you're proud of where you've gotten in these 3.5 years that you've been doing this. Like, I seriously, like, yes, you're not wrong. The Between Realities live chat, that's the place, okay? It's a party every time. That's all there is to it.
Oh, it's happening.
That's all there is to it. But what I think, especially when it comes to like people in the space, like developers who like want to share their story, who like want to reach their audience, they think of Ruff Talk Bros. Like, we're like niche within niche, like heavy industry, like if you're not like plugged in, I don't know if you're going to spend as much time here, you know what I mean? But Ruff Talk, like you guys reach the audience that a lot of these VR developers want to reach. And you guys are number one on the list anytime somebody starts mentioning VR podcasts. And I mean, I don't know if you guys thought that would happen when you got started, but here you are, and I hope you feel some pride about that.
Yeah, it's quite wild. I mean, we didn't even
surreal to be honest. Yeah, no. The answer, no. We did not think any of that would happen.
We didn't even start with video. That's why we used aliases at first. Now we've revealed our real name.
Didn't mention we were even related at the start.
Yep, tried to stay totally.
Did everything wrong at the get-go. Honestly, like every marketable thing incorrect. Didn't do YouTube.
Yep. Waited till like 10 episodes in, and then but it's just been a love of VR.
It's been an awesome ride is what it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did you use for aliases?
Well, D Scruffles and Stratus.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
That's what we rolled with.
You wouldn't find our real names anywhere, and even it got awkward when guests got like real serious, and you're like, yeah, just call me Stratus.
Yeah, my name is D Scruffles.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a limit, there's a line. I didn't think this through, so you can use my real name.
Well, we didn't even think we'd ever be interviewing people either.
Didn't start off that way at all.
The show's gone through kind of evolutions. It started with like super formatted reviews. We had like a show kind of like script, not like word for word script, but like here we're going to start with the intro. Then we're going to go to like what we like, what we dislike, final score, everything. And then took probably like 3-4 episodes before we started talking with people. We were like, interviews are super fun. And that became like half our show. And then maybe like a year and a half in, we're like, well, we don't always need to do a review. We don't always need to talk to people. Let's just talk news. And now I think that's some of my favorite. Is every Monday we go in and
because it's news with open dialogue, so it works, and it's relevant. And
yeah, we can definitely go on some tangents. We always joke like the weeks that we have the least to talk about,
it's a 2-hour episode,
and then we'll have 15 talking points, and we just blow through them in 45 minutes.
40 things to talk about. It's an hour show.
Last week, I think we're about 25 minutes in, and we're still talking about Grim.
Grim, yeah.
Which I got to plug. Grim is one of my most hyped upcoming releases. And now they're teasing coming winter.
Which I'm going to stick to what I said last week and say that'll mean 2025, not...
Their page says winter 2024.
I know, but it squeezes you right out of awards, so don't do it.
Dude, you guys are so good.
I feel like I'm just watching a live...
we're watching Ruff Talk now.
Yeah, we're just watching a live episode of Ruff Talk right now.
This is beautiful.
We're like, oh, cool. You get some popcorn?
Apologies.
I don't know how to be a guest. I don't know.
No, it's great.
Take the wheel.
Just
No,
stop.
we
You got a horn button there.
We did. Did you see that? We did. That's what we did right there. But this is all this is all really good stuff. But I like you're getting further away from where I want to be, which is like, why do this? Like, I think we can kind of assume some of this story, right? You're a father and son. You both discovered VR. You were both like, holy shit, did you see this? And the other guy's like, yeah. And then you guys kind of got obsessed about it and maybe start talking about it all the time. Am I on the right track here?
Yeah, that is stunningly accurate. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Sounds about right, but why start a podcast? Like, what's the incentive there? Especially when you're like not planning on, becoming the podcast one day. Like, why start sharing it?
Well, I can take it away a bit and interrupt me at any point.
You already know what you're gonna say, so go.
Every week he would come over, every Sunday, because that's the day you had off, and now that's become our recording day. And we would talk for maybe 3-4 hours
easily,
and just about anything, news, what we've been enjoying with video games, everything. So we're always like, let's start a podcast. We threw around a couple ideas for a while. One of them was like, we could do an MMA podcast because we're big fans of MMA, UFC. At the time, I'm working at a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym. Now I work with you guys, woo woo. Yeah. But at that time, I was working at a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym. I saw Kensai in the chat reference that as well, oos. But I was like, I should probably have some layer of separation where it's not like, work at a jiu-jitsu gym, then in my spare time do an MMA podcast. I feel like that's too much of the same thing. So then we're like,
you ended up doing that. You ended up working in a VR place and doing a VR podcast. Just bringing it back around there.
Games are fun. And then it's like, do we do news? Do we do politics? You do politics, you lose all of your friends and family very fast. So we're like, all right, we had kind of always spitballed the idea for 2 years. And then I put on a headset, tried Beat Saber, which I'm not the craziest Beat Saber fan. I like the game, I respect it, but it's not like my number one VR game. But just off of trying that, I was like, this medium is something else. I had heard about Thrill the Fight, so I was like, I want a box. So I went home, same night, I Amazon primed a Quest 2 to my house, tried it for one day. He asked me, how is it? Said, freaking amazing. He had one 2 days later.
2 days later, yeah.
And about a month later, we had a podcast. We were like,
wow.
Now all we're doing is talking about VR when you come over on the weekends. A lot of Pop 1 talk. We're like, shoot, that's it. That's what it is.
No-brainer. And we loved that it wasn't like, it was a new market. It was new to everything, really. Like, it's not mainstream, and we're not trying to intrude on PlayStation peeps, and which would have been forced more than anything. We could have pulled off an MMA podcast, and I'm sure we could have done politics, but
again, lose friends and family very fast.
Yeah, I love being part of something that I felt like if we do this properly, as this grows, we'll grow with it. If this doesn't grow, we won't grow with it, and it's been a harmonic balance through the. So I'll tell you firsthand, VR's doing great.
See, I find this so interesting, guys, because like Skiva and I know each other because we fell in love with VR first. Like this is not my dad. I know a lot of people think Skiva's my dad. He's actually not. We're just friends. We're just good friends.
That's right, son. I mean,
yeah. And but it was VR that pulled us together, and it was like needing to talk about VR specifically that started the need to have a podcast. Like I wasn't sitting around thinking like I'm going to start a podcast about something. So I find that so interesting that like you guys could have been influenced or pushed to do a podcast in a completely different realm, and you just ended up landing here with us in the VR space.
I wonder if it still would have been Ruff Talk. Like Ruff Talk, AMA, Ruff Talk, politics.
We didn't know how much work went into a podcast, especially VR that's growing so much, and but we had originally had the plan of like we could even do a network of Ruff Talk VR, Ruff Talk MMA, Ruff Talk.
We'll just have three different podcasts.
So it probably still would have been Ruff Talk, but Ruff Talk something else. But to be honest with you, though, even though we had the idea for a podcast, once we tried VR, like I said, within a couple weeks, a month, it was so clear that was the path to go.
I didn't think in my lifetime I would see the technology where it's at today. I honestly didn't.
Well, you started with Pong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you always been a gamer, Brian?
That was our first arcade machine at home. It wasn't even like you used like two little clips to plug it into the back of your TV. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they added some extra little lines, and they called it hockey.
Right. So have you always been a gamer? Was there like a decade that you stepped away or anything like that?
No.
Or? No. Gamer forever.
I've gamed since, whenever they sold those home consoles of Pong in the 70s and then had the first Atari. And I'll thank my parents for doing that, because it's like, Jesus, I didn't appreciate then what they probably had to put out to get me all that. Then had the Commodore 64 when that came out. I'll use it for school, I said. That, no, I had, all the different consoles, and then throughout your life, we had all the different. You had shit I never played, like Game Boys and stuff. That was always your and your sister's jam. Did Counter-Strike competitively for a couple of years.
Nice.
I think one of my first memories of gaming, I was probably like 3, playing Red Alert. Real-time strategy, man.
Educational games.
What year were you born, Damien?
What's that?
What year were you born?
1996.
96.
I'm a young lad.
You are. Well, relatively.
That's when I graduated high school.
Wow. So Skiva was 18. He's out there breaking hearts and playing Nintendo 64, and you're just arriving on the planet.
All scruffily.
Yeah.
Came out like that.
So what about you guys? What was the point where you guys were like, we need to start a podcast together?
So it's interesting sharing this story on our own show. Like, and that's, that's like
the script though. Yeah,
I'm cool with it though, because we do share the story sometimes, but it's usually when we appear together somewhere else. But anyway, it started without, I had my own channel, and I was like, I was committed to entering the VR space by the time I had met Skiva. So I was running around as Alex VR. I'm going to conferences and like forcing my way into the party with a microphone and a selfie stick, and like getting interviews with people.
In the then famous red pants.
That would burst if I tried to put them on.
Get your new pair of those, man. Those things were sick.
They were sick. I got to bring that look back. That was a good one. But anyway, I gave myself a reason to be at VR stuff by starting a YouTube channel. Like, that was like my path. I was like, oh, if I just like come and interview people, I have a reason to be there. So I'll just go and interview people. And that was kind of like my original strategy for infiltrating the VR space. And then I met Skiva, and I was like, by the way, I'm going to OC6. And he's like, dude, if you go there, you have to hang out with all these other VR YouTubers. Because at the time, he was watching VR YouTube a lot. I was contributing to VR YouTube, but watched and followed no one. Like, I started on my own. I wasn't influenced by anybody. I just fell in love with VR and was like, I need to contribute to this. So I started making videos, but he was like, dude, if you're going to be at this event, you need to like go meet VR 365. You need to go meet MRTV. You need to go meet all of these names and stuff. And I'm like, who, what? And I'm like taking notes. And I went to OC6 and I met all of these people, like everybody. I met every VR YouTuber, and I'm like sending photos back to Skiva, and he's like, holy crap, like you're hanging out with these guys. And when I came home, he was like, dude, all right, like whatever you need, like you need some help, I'm there. Like, I want to be involved in this, And I was a little skeptical at first, because I was like just getting a name for myself, and I'm like just getting some traction. I'm like, all right, what's this guy want? Like, he's going to be like trying to ride my coattails into this thing after I've like worked hard to get here, And it didn't take me long to realize that Skiva's the real deal. Like, this guy's fueled with the same amount of passion as me, like not trying to do anything other than be a part of this, same as I am. And he followed me around to a couple of events. I think we went to like 3 or 4 conferences together.
Yep, and was camera guy.
He was my cameraman, and I just got to skip through the halls of the conferences with a microphone like a kid in the candy store. And literally. And after a minute, I was like, I started to feel a little guilty, because like it's like all for the Alex VR. It's like the Alex VR show. And like he started like really carrying a lot of weight and like making primary contributions. He's like setting up a OneDrive so we can share files and like doing all kinds of stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like we need to have a project that like both of our names are on. Because we're obviously becoming a team at this point. And we would just be like smoking joints in his backyard, having like deep philosophical discussions about VR. And all of a sudden it was like, wait a second, like not enough people are talking about the reality part of virtual reality. Like, it's always games, and it's always like as a tool. But the fact of the matter is there's a serious philosophical implication to this technology that we're using. We are like manifesting new realities by hijacking our sensory perception organs. And as we're like stoned sitting out back talking about that, we realize that that's something that everybody should probably hear. And that's where the idea for the podcast came.
And here we are talking to you.
Dude, that is a great freaking story. That's really good. No, that's good. And I had no idea, to be honest with you. I'd never heard it.
Yep, between realities, baby.
I asked in the times we've met.
And I resonate a lot with what you said, Alex, because like same thing, we weren't super into the VR YouTube scene or anything. I didn't know any YouTubers at the time. I was never somebody that like watched a bunch of streamers. I was just a hardcore gaming user, but like I didn't go into that side too much. So I didn't even know that there was other VR podcasts.
I know.
When we started, I didn't know anything. Like I said, we didn't even do YouTube for like the first 10 episodes, and we're like, oh, we should probably eventually do,
at least put the audio up.
Yeah, you know, we were like strictly audio podcast focused, and it's so funny to look back at how like noob things were to us at the time, how little we knew about the industry when we started, how little we knew about the way like the making of games work, and just even our setup. We had this little small.
Oh, we have a picture somewhere.
It's comical. It's like we were probably like 2 feet away from each other. Yeah. This small little square table.
There's a little 2x2 coffee table
with 2 Yeti mics, which you know we have some content creators in the live chat. If you've ever used one Yeti mic, you can hear a fly in your kitchen across the house with a Yeti mic if it's set up wrong, let alone 2. So
our show sounded like shit for like a season and a half or 2 seasons.
Well, when you do 2 USB Yeti mics, it's hard to get the latency the same on both of them, and then you sometimes end up with an echoing sound and like
it's trash.
So I don't know how you guys pulled that off. That's pretty good.
Well, you know what really did it though? I think we had an interview coming up, because I don't think we ever used the Yetis for an interview, because there was some issue with using 2 Yetis and getting a remote interview.
Correct. Windows had an issue with detecting 2 different USB mics at the same time, or something like.
No, this will not work.
So I did it in OBS, and like that's comical to even think of record a podcast in OBS. And like now I use Audacity, some actual an actual DAW, not OBS for recording one shot.
Use OBS.
Yeah, we're using OBS right now.
Well, you're using OBS to live stream. It's different. I was using OBS to record to get an audio file. That doesn't make any sense, All right,
dude. Also,
we had an interview.
Go ahead.
We had an interview lined up, and he comes over and he goes, "How much do you think it would cost to get the mic that Joe Rogan uses?" And I'm like, "I don't know, $3,000." And he goes, $500. And I go, "That's the worst thing you could have ever said to me, because that is just the number that's expensive, and also the number that's
affordable.
I think I'm gonna do it." And then we got these nice mics, and I've never looked back.
Oh, no way, bro.
But it's like 500 each, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, 400.
Oh yeah, but I sold it as 500, bro. It's not 1,000. It's only 500.
I'll pay mine, you pay yours.
It's only 500.
And then you realized you had to have like some kind of board to plug it into, and then you realized it couldn't be any board because these things have to be powered. These specific microphones.
It's just gonna be another, $300.
What do they call it? The Cloud Flitter. Then I got the Scarlet. The
2x2.
Yeah.
2-1 Astro 212, whatever it was called. And then I was like, oh wow, that means that we need a total of 4 XLR wires. And then I was like, oh, then we need the boom arms. It's like, wow, that wasn't $500. Way to sneak that one in.
I think it's safe to say,
but that was
I think it's safe to say that more money and effort goes into these than a lot of people might guess. Like obviously, like once you get it up and running, like it kind of becomes smooth, and we can just sit here and bullshit for a while, but like it does take a considerable amount of equipment. It does take a considerable amount of setting up. And I don't think anybody quite knows exactly what they're getting themselves into, but it's very easy to learn as you go. And the one thing I really don't know that we all maybe would have realized is just how much opportunity doing something like a podcast can bring. Like it is insane how you can sit and talk to somebody who you're close with about a thing you like, and then like years later you're getting trips to Germany and you're working for VR companies, and like, isn't it just insane?
This year's been a trip.
This whole year, ever since New Year's.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that happened this year I would have like outlined as like any even mental, like, oh, this is going to happen this year.
Well, we always say, like, when we first started the podcast, we didn't know anything. Then we start to learn about the industry, And then when we ever found out that there was a MetaQuest creator program, our first year in, we're like, oh my goodness, like
we want to be in that.
I want to be in it so bad. And then by the second year, we're like, nah, you know, we're never going to be in that. That's okay. You know, we're just this niche little podcast. You know, it's for big VR YouTubers. And we had written off the possibility of ever being in there. And then January of this year, to start the year, we joined the MetaQuest creator program. It was like, oh my goodness, what, you know, wrote that off that was ever going to happen. So that was a huge milestone. And then halfway through the year, we're in Sweden.
Yeah.
Well, what in the world is that? We're visiting Sweden. Never thought that would happen. And then we're in England. Here's some whispers about Germany. A month later, we're in Germany. And then already know we have the Meta Connect coming up, you know, a month after that. It's just been an incredible freaking year. And now I'm part of Impact Reality. It's nuts. It's been like a snowball.
And then the crown jewel, you're a guest on Between Realities. It's the ultimate accomplishment in the VR space. It is. It's the elite. So congratulations, you've made it.
Said it didn't work too good with my schedule before, and now I can't really say that.
All right. Yeah.
that's taken away. So it works with my schedule now. So
right. It's like, oh man, I can't get the time off to do that. Yeah, you can.
And we're glad
time
you're
off
here. By the way, like, you know, if I was starting a podcast today, which I kind of did, you know, with XR Update a little bit, I would use Restream, and I did with XR Update. Restream is such a powerful tool. It is so awesome. It is so easy to use. You can host a show and produce it simultaneously. If you're out there being like, I'm going to start my podcast soon, use Restream, bros. Just use Restream, bros and sisses.
Unless you need to compile a spaceship.
You don't need to do that.
Man.
Just do Restream. It's awesome.
We made things so complicated, didn't we?
We did.
Imagine if we could just like plug in and just not have to worry about any of this. Just do it.
We're green screening this.
Man.
We're green screening this. We're putting layers. We need a custom set. We need space flying in the background. And we used some stock stuff for season 1. I think you paid for the rights to use like some scene that somebody had built, which like could be bought by other people out there. You know what I mean? So when we realized that we're going to keep doing this, we're like, all right, we can't be using like stock anything. Like we got to have a custom set, custom logos, custom song at the beginning. Like all that stuff is made specifically for a thing. And I feel great about it. Yeah,
I do too. Yeah. But sometimes I get really jealous when I see people like gamertag just turn on his camera at his desk and he's ready, and that's all there is. He's like in a video call, now he's in a podcast now, and it's like, oh man,
I know,
you know, like,
Brad turns his camera on and 8,000 people watch.
Yeah, Brad turns his camera on, he hasn't even like done his hair or anything. He's just like woke up. He's like, hey, I'm Brad.
Well, but we're not Brad.
No, we're not.
We are not Brad.
No, you're not.
Shout out Brad. Hope you're doing good out there, brother.
Yeah, Brad's the man.
He really is,
man.
Amazing guy.
And I commented at the start, but awesome live chat. We got Inferno in here saying this is really great. But Inferno, I want to put him on the spot about a habit he has with MetaQuest, but I'll wait till he says it's okay. He's quite the collector of different headsets. We'll come back to that in a minute. If he goes, yeah, blast it out. I don't want to blast it out without him saying it's good, but he's got quite the funny habit with MetaQuest.
That's quite nice of you. I don't ask anybody anything. I try to catch people with their pants down as often as possible.
Smack them in the behind. Yep.
Yeah, Inferno's a good dude. You know, I like to stay on good terms with him, but
that's good.
That's why you're Alex.
That, you know, that's your Ruff Talk. We're Between Realities, two completely separate entities in the same army fighting.
We got it's fine. Let's hear it.
I think at this point he's at 4. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Quest 3s?
Quest 3s, yeah. When Inferno runs out of space on his headsets, he buys another headset.
Doesn't want to.
Wait, does he do that with Xbox and PlayStation as well?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know.
Wait, why?
Like the most gangster thing.
That is gangster, man. Wow.
That is gangster.
Wait, why would you do that?
That's a negative thing. He's like, I don't want to deal with re-downloading stuff. I'll just buy a new one.
That's.
Wow, dude. That's like saying, yo, every time my Ferrari runs out of gas, I'm just gonna buy a new one.
I knew it.
That's cool. Ballin'.
I saw him in the chat. I was like, this is such a novelty. That's like a defining characteristic of him. He's
amazing.
Inferno's great member of the Ruff Talk VR Discord. I see a couple of our our peeps here. We got Chadwick.
Bro,
we got Amelia.
why stop there? Why not just have a headset for each game you play? Well, have a headset for Trombone Champ, a headset for Ghost of Tabor.
I bet you he would if it wasn't a space issue. I bet you it would be more of a, because you'd have to have 300
shelves and stuff.
So Inferno, if you're in chat here, you got to explain to me, when you want to play a game, how do you know what headset to pick up? Do you put on like 3 different headsets before you get to the right one that has the game installed, and you're like, oh man, I feel like that's got to be...
I bet you his brain has it ready to go.
2 Series X systems.
Dude,
I love it.
I do love it, but also there's so many things wrong about this. Like, I can't condone this behavior. I don't support it. I like it.
I have been curious about hey, I want to play Pop 1. It's like, if I got 4 headsets, which one do I know has...
Yeah. How do you know? You go through like 3 headsets and you're like, dang it, which headset is it? You keep picking up the second one and like
uses an Excel spreadsheet.
It's just taped to the front of each headset.
And so what? Okay, so you have like, you put like a 1 on your headset and then you go to your spreadsheet. Dude, that sounds like more trouble than uninstalling something and reinstalling it.
Or just getting good internet where the game downloads in like 2 minutes.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and I love it.
I do too. I love it too.
I always felt Alex that exact statement. It's so ridiculous. I love it. Yeah. It's such a it's amazing.
It's baller.
We also got Samson in the live chat, another VR podcaster.
Heck yeah.
Samson, from New England.
Yeah, another New Englander.
Massachusetts.
I gotta say, Alex, you're a little outnumbered here.
That's fine with me.
3 out of 4 people from Massachusetts.
That's a whole lot of massholes.
We got some assholes in the chat. Yep, we do indeed. Real Optics is also here. What's up, Real Optics?
Hey, what's up, man?
Good to see you. Anybody else?
I keep forgetting. I gotta send in my... I'm supposed to send my Meta Ray-Bans, and he's going to put some prescription lenses in there for me.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I need to get that
also,
done too.
Virtual Samurai is in the chat, who we had on the show previously. He was going by Biohazard when we had him on previously.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Some of the
most
a great episode. Next level mixed reality content creation ever.
Real. Such a talented guy.
Yep, really.
Man.
Seriously.
He has like 87 foot pedals and 5 buttons on his wrist and so, like, oh my God, just doing next level production.
Yep.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, somebody needs to hire that guy.
Yeah, for real.
Amelia Faust says, I started watching Between Realities when they were on Ruff Talk, and then I got into Neos.
Got you guys a listener. Remember that.
Heck yeah, thanks. And a good one too. Thank you.
Amelia's
and not
awesome.
just her.
She does such a great job in our Discord.
Oh my God, yeah.
If you're not part of the Ruff Talk VR Discord, I'll do a little self plug. We got great game key giveaways, but where Amelia crushes it is just community engagement and setting up events. She's awesome.
And bot traps.
And bot traps, yeah.
Holy moly.
We had some, I'm sure anybody that's run a public Discord has faced this, bots joining and posting nefarious things. So we said
the porn bots. Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, they're doing me a favor. It's like one less step I have to take.
Yeah, he doesn't have to like go visit the sites.
I don't have to go
just all in our Discord.
It's right there.
The link came to me.
Yeah.
This is great.
Perfect.
Sigh, unzip.
You want free porn? Start a Discord.
Amelia's been really good at helping us when it happens to our server too.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably her fault now that I'm thinking about it. They probably followed her from Ruff Talk over to Between Realities. But frankly,
clear the search history quick.
Just rerouted them.
Yeah.
Clear the search history.
Well, those porn bots make up
the booty bots, she says.
Yeah.
I love it.
Those bots make up 25% of our engagement, so please don't stop them.
Don't ban them.
Yeah.
No ban hammers.
They help more than they hurt.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. So guys, there's so many games coming out like from now till the end of the year. I was actually about to say, what's your most anticipated game up until now for 2024? But I mean, we all know the answer. It's Trombone Champ. Unflattened.
Oh, for sure.
I guess it's going to be Trombone Champ.
By the way, Damien, dude, I got to tell you, I really appreciate your loyalty lately with my high score status, okay? Because a lot of people that shouldn't want to see me fail do. People on my team, people on my squad who want to see me dethroned, and I can't believe it. But Damien's not one of those guys. Damien's like, nah, Alex has got this. Like, nobody's
somebody tried to brag to Alex because he's been dominating the #1 leaderboards, and they tried to brag about taking his spot. And I said, no. That's the PC VR version.
This is my guy.
I go, I don't see my boy's name on there in the top 10 at all. I mean, I know something's wrong here.
That's right, dude.
Represent.
That's right. I appreciate your loyalty, and I need the rest of these minions to start walking in line.
Man, I'm gonna have to like really start grinding some of your top songs there.
Come on,
I know it probably won't happen.
What's the cheat code you use? What's the Konami code you use?
The Konami code,
the 5 million toots you get per song.
That's just the thing, right? Like when you work for the company that develops it, how does anyone know if you're really being legit?
He's a little skeptical.
Did you see that sting? Did you see it?
I am too legit to quit.
He goes, I want to see him do it with the camera live.
There's scores and then there's Alex scores. You know? I'm just saying.
He goes, where's that debug menu? It's somewhere in here. There's got to be something.
Yeah.
Konami code up, down, left, right. What's going on?
/ set score Alex VR 8 million.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. People, it must be something like this because there's no way I'm just that good unless I am, which I am, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Boom.
Listen, Trombone Champ comes out November 26th. Pre-order it today, wishlist it on Steam, and buy it when it comes out. You won't regret it. There it is. Let's move on from Trombone Champ because I could talk about it all night, but I don't want to do that.
How much is it?
It's
throw the price out.
$14.99.
$14.99.
Same price as the base game. So
that is such a good price for the amount of time. But we'll move, like you said, we'll move
on. Yeah, I don't want to be like,
I don't get to play Trombone Champ every day like you guys. What the hell, man?
I want to talk about it right now.
I want to know things.
Well, it's incredibly good. I mean,
we'll know things soon enough in a week or two, right?
Yeah, we will. It's just like, we talked about it last week, and it's like, I know we're from Flat to VR Studios and Impact, but like, I don't know, we're like, I also don't want to like hammer our own thing for too long.
well, while we're hammering,
it's something to be proud of, also, right? I mean, this is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's not like deal. It's not like, okay, a game's coming out. It's like, no, you're launching a game in a space of the rhythm game side of genre things, which is, to me, very competitive thing, and you're going to bring something to the table that's going to try to do battle with some of our top freaking rhythm games. Yeah, dude, come on, man.
And you went into, like, before you tried at Gamescom, you went in like, okay, I've never played Trombone Champ, let's see how it is. And after you played it, every time we passed the screen,
I kept checking the scores.
You checking leaderboards, like making sure you're beating people. I could instantly tell it got you.
I got hurt because I saw someone had like posted a better score or something. I'm like, oh, that dude did better than me. And I'm like, I can't go play it again because it's not set up that you can just go walk up and go, give me another round. But mad competitive game though. Come on.
It really is. And it's so addicting. Like, and I'm not just saying this, okay? Like, it is so addicting. And the barrier of entry for a play session is incredibly low. Like, I'll be sitting next to my headset and I'm looking at my headset and I'm like, maybe I'll play a quick Trombone Champ song. Like, it'd be fast, like, no problem. Throw my headset on, and then 2 hours later, my headset's dying, and I'm like, whoa, wow, I just wanted to pop in for a minute, Like, it seems so accessible, like, it's right there outside of your reach. Like, some games, I feel like I need to, like, really, like, hype myself up to get ready to go do, like, Beat Saber, for example. Like, I know what I'm signing up for here. Like, oh, geez, I'm gonna need a shower after this. I'm gonna have to, like, burn a bunch of calories or whatever, But, like, Trombone Champ, it's, like, just sitting there, and I can just pick it up and go, and then I'm like fighting for my life in the middle of the Mexican Hat song, and like it's 2 hours later my headset dies. Like, I haven't had a game kill my headset in the way that Trombone Champ has all year long. Like, seriously, it is my personal game of the year.
Dude, heck yeah, man.
I'm excited for your team, and just from what I played in Germany, I walked away going, this thing's going to do really freaking good. You're bringing something good to the table.
And listen, there are
DeVita as one of the songs. That would be even
that would be great. Hey, the game by default supports modding. So you can bring in any of the modded songs from the flat version of the game. We support it on Quest, we support it on Steam. So grab the songs that you want, not just the trillion songs that we have already built into the game. And there are links to the Quest version, to the Steam version, and the PlayStation VR 2 version in the description below. Wishlist, if you guys just wishlist, it would really, really help us, like tons, because it like kicks the algorithm on for these stores to really start pushing it. So that would be super helpful. Or a pre-order if you'd like. That'd be sweet.
Buy it. Buy it.
$14.99. Because I mean, it's underpriced in the genre of rhythm games,
and you get an exclusive trombone that you will never ever be able to get again
if you pre-order
it. So that that fish one that you saw in the trailer, you have to buy it now, or you're never gonna get that one. So buy it now.
Trombone Champ, baby. I could go on and on and on, like I said. So I don't want to do that. I mean, so
but be proud. You guys are gonna crush
we're
it.
proud. Yeah, like I pinch myself to just be like remotely involved in any of this. Like it's kind of insane, to be honest. Like it still hasn't quite caught up to me. It's probably going to be insane next week when this game launches, and we're all like, oh my god, people are playing it now. Wow.
Right? Man.
Still so many great games coming too. Like Walltown Wonders is coming out like what tomorrow. That was another game from
so much
Gamescom.
fun.
I'm so excited to see it because I love that Gamescom.
Crush it, dude.
We've hit the point in 2020. You think of where mixed reality was last year with games. We do a yearly award show, and you know, mixed reality of experience of the year was a category we had last year, and definitely the top two was Aspire 2's game mode for mixed reality, and then Drop Dead the Cabin's mixed reality game mode. But those were game modes. We're hitting the point that now we have actual mixed reality experiences that are like made from the ground up for mixed reality. Things like Walltown Wonders, like Starship Home, like Last Stand, like Spatial Ops. So now it's going from a category that the top nominees were game modes.
Category now, yeah.
Not just real, it's a stacked category. You know, it's like, oh my goodness, Augmented Empire. Like, what is going on?
Man, Walltown Wonders blew my mind in Germany when we played it. Like
dude.
seeing looking at the wall, and then all of a sudden it like bursts open, and there's this whole world of little people in there, and these planes flying around, and you're like creating and building new sections and placing them all over the wall. Oh my god, this game is so sick. It's really cool. And then you like pick up the little dudes in your hand and you help them go where they need to go. This game is so sick. I really, really like it.
The freaking detail when you stick your face up close to and you're looking. I can't get over this. This is good. And I think they're gonna have a great launch.
And look at that trailer. It's only possible in VR. You have to, I mean, in mixed reality, you have to use your walls. You have to be aware of the space in your house when you're building and planning. I mean, that is incredible. So, I mean, again, we went from mixed reality being a feature to some of the best standalone experiences of the year are some of these mixed reality. I mean, how innovative is Last Stand and Spatial Ops? That's incredible.
Well, and I also think it's important, or I shouldn't say important, but like it helps, I think, to like recognize who some of these developers are. Like Walltown Wonders is Cyborn, who made Hubris, which like
that's a crazy switch,
right? Like the Hubris developers decided to go to mixed reality, and then you talk about Spatial Ops, that's Resolution Games, and like almost everything that they do is really awesome. You know what I mean? So like we have developers who are known for making some of the highest quality VR games that we have been able to play over the past few years, who are now releasing these full-blown MR experiences. And I've been a little bearish on these, you know? Like, I didn't really think I needed mixed reality games and mixed reality experiences, but the more and more I get into them, the more and more I love them. And I understand the value of still being able to see my surroundings while being in an immersive game.
I think you and I share a similar... I remember when
hesitancy.
Yeah, I think originally I may have even, there might be an episode or two I was talking a little smack about the whole, like, I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm trying to escape. You know, I want to play games, not like look at my messy house and shit. But I'm a believer. And this is just, I haven't even scratched the surface of it. It's literally just, putting stuff on your walls, and we're amazed. I'm trying to think like 5 years down the road how it's gonna play out, and it's gonna be nuts, man.
I think for fitness games too, it's a game changer. You look at a game like Racket Club.
Well, anybody can work out, dude. Anybody now. It's like you have motivation.
No excuse to punch your wall and throw the fight. And it's such an awesome experience seeing a dude in your living room throwing hands with you. Like you're not in a boxing ring.
You take it more personal.
Homeboys in your house throwing paws at you. It's like, come on. That's as good as it gets. And then like we're just talking about things coming out this year. How about things like Escaping Wonderland from Beyond Frames?
Oh, dude, so good.
Amazing.
One of the best stories in a video game this year.
Yep.
Yeah, 2024 has just been absolutely insane. And
how are we going to top this, guys?
I mean,
wow.
it's feeling more and more like VR is mainstream every day. And I know that we don't have the adoption that we're looking for, but when it comes to like visibility of VR as a platform. I don't know if you guys caught the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, but 2 out of the 4 ropes of that ring said Meta Quest on them. Are you kidding me? Like, when I got into this space, you couldn't see VR anywhere. Like, if you went out into the real world, you wouldn't see a mention of a VR company anywhere. Most people wouldn't even know what you're talking about when you start talking about VR. I don't think that's the case anymore. In the same week, I saw the sponsorship for MetaQuest during arguably the biggest live stream event ever. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a live stream event with that much hype, and here's MetaQuest plastered all over the front of it.
Over 60 million people watching that live.
2 days ago, I'm watching Paris Hilton on Instagram holding a Quest 3S, being like, "What's up? You should work out in Supernatural. It's super good." And I'm like, holy shit, that's Paris Hilton holding a VR headset.
Wow, that's pretty wild, man.
Like, I feel like everybody has heard about VR now. Like, the world knows that VR is here. There's this maybe not adoption, but like awareness that has never existed before. And I'm willing to bet 40% of like the regular people who you might encounter when you like walk into a restaurant or something like that have experienced firsthand a 6DoF VR experience. Like, I think a lot of people have had access to Quest 2s and Quest 3s in the past few years, and
I hope so.
They go to a friend's house and they throw them into Beat Saber for a round or two. You know what I mean? Like, I think so many people have had access to it now.
Well, it's funny because you're normal everyday people, the experiences that always blow their minds are the mixed reality ones. Like even first encounters to us looks so dumb, like this, you know, I mean, some of it's cool, like the spaceship crashes through your wall and all these little fuzzy things come out and you're shooting them, but that keeps blowing people's minds, that this little spaceship just crashed through their walls and these things are bouncing up against their walls trying to break into their house and they're shooting them. I mean, something as kind of, you know, lame as that for a gamer like us, right? It's just melting people's brains, which is super sick. But we have such insane MR experiences. I mean, one that really got me, and you guys are gonna laugh at me, but like when my roof got ripped off and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was up there and I'm like blasting him with a proton pack as he's destroying my house, I couldn't even believe it. It was the coolest thing, right? Like, oh my god. And now spatial ops, so I gotta tell you why I like spatial ops so much. So first of all, this game has a full campaign, which is really, really super sick. But the thing is that you can then like use your whole house or a big space if you're somewhere, and you can just use the entire space and it'll place boxes and weapons throughout the house or the space that you're in, and you can physically run around like diving behind couches and stuff, throwing grenades over the wall into the kitchen to murder your friend, and it is just such a good time. I cannot imagine you diving behind a couch, bro. All right, I don't personally dive, but I do get down. Get down. I do get down.
Dude, like I do not want to be in the path of a diving ski.
It is so
in Sweden, and I was pouring sweat from head to toe.
Not for nothing, Eric's not like a small guy, and he was running around that studio.
Well, because we played it in the Resolution Game Studio. It was us two against Eric and Todd.
Nice.
And we were not Eric and Todd. It was Eric and one of the developers. Yeah, no, Eric wasn't there till England. I'm sorry, Todd wasn't there till England. And I was running around sliding, baseball sliding, jumping over things. It was too much fun.
I'd love to play that in like a full blown, you know, like basketball gym.
Yeah.
Just to really maximize the hell out of the space. Because to me, it's like the more space you could have, the better, for sure.
Imagine that in a VR arcade. It's like I've never seen a consumer game more made for arcades.
Fun.
For real. I got to play that in Sweden as well, and Resolution rented out a bigger space than their office. And it was like, it was like me and Todd and Gamertag and VRO Mike and V-Bunny Go and like Henry Stockdale from Upload and like people from Road to VR. And like, it was super sick. And we were literally running around shooting each other. And it was one of the best times ever. And I know this is hard because like getting space like that is not easy. A lot of people, especially in Europe, things are just naturally smaller, and the play spaces that are available are naturally just smaller, right? But if you and your friends have a headset and you have a space you can go, if there's a gym down the street that has a basketball court, if you have a friend that has like an open basement or a living room or something, like play this way. Now you can also play this in a story mode where where portals are opening in your walls and your ceilings and all of this stuff, and there's a full first person thing. So don't feel like you have to play it in the arena mode, but it is a really, really good time. This game is just super incredible all the way through. And man, Resolution Games, they just can't not hit a home run.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, at least in terms of like what we think.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
They've put out 2 games now on the Apple Vision Pro that I want on the Quest.
Starting to rub the further wrong way with this.
I'm sure there was some deal, like, they have some exclusivity deal or whatever with Apple, but these 2 games that they've put out on the Vision Pro, just recently, Gears and Goo, which is a tower defense game, and then they put out Game Room as well, which is like, I feel like Game Room from Resolution Games is everything about. Do you remember when you used to go on the computer in like Windows 2000 and such? You played Minesweeper.
Game default.
You would play the pinball game that came with it, Solitaire, and like a lot of my, I don't want to say whole childhood, because obviously not. No, I played a lot of other stuff, but like there were dull moments where you would hop in those and play some Minesweeper or some pinball, and I feel like that was such a big part of my retention as a computer user, as a young lad. Where I feel like a game like an app like Game Room should come natively on headsets. If people could put on a headset and right away with their meta avatar play simple card games, Go Fish, who cares, War, whatever, some basic dice games, that would be so big for retention. So
although
Resolution Games, I don't know what's going on. Bring that to the Quest, please.
For real.
I'm begging you.
Real.
I would say buying a headset today, though, with your access to the amount of free stuff you get,
that's a good point.
The friggin' top. But going back to 3 years ago, 1,000,000%.
Well,
if you could have
I mean, what it needs to be is like that needs to be like the first thing you get access to. Like you put on the headset, and then before you get hit with this like wall of Horizon Worlds rooms and stuff, you have like your base included like base games. Like I'm right there with you, Damien. And by the way, like we did rent a basketball court one time, but it wasn't to play Spatial Ops. It was to play
Space Pirate Arena.
Yep. And honestly, Space Pirate Arena came too soon because mixed reality fixes so many problems that Space Pirate Arena was having. Like we ran into each other while we were running around in there. Like you're cut off from your environment, but you're supposed to trust it as if you can like run around in the space. And it's really hard to do when you're in completely VR, but MR makes that totally possible. And I'm not about to go sprinting into Skiva if I can see his actual human self through the cameras. So like it's a bummer that Space Pirate Arena didn't like blow up, because we kind of like were dreaming of a game like that. But I think Spatial Ops with its mixed reality mode will be much more accessible and a lot easier for people to execute that type of game experience.
Well, it's crazy to think about, because now you buy a headset, right? You put the thing on, and what's on there? You have Batman Arkham Shadow. Wow, 3 months of Quest Plus, where you get all of these different games that you can try. Like, what in the world? Like,
Walkabout Mini Golf. Is Demio on there? I'll double check that. I'm pretty sure it is.
It is.
There's so many good games on the MetaQuest Plus catalog that, like, dude, you could buy a headset and for 2 months not buy an app. Easy.
For real.
Yep.
So it's interesting times. Do you remember when people used to be able to buy every app that came out on the official MetaQuest store? I remember that would be like, this week there's one app coming out on the official store, the rest are app lab. I buy that or whatever. You grab every app that comes out. At least I was. Now,
dude,
8 games coming out tomorrow.
Wow, 8 in one day.
Is that real? Wild. There's really 8 games coming out tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Jeez. What are they?
That's powerful.
Name those games.
It also shows you the further, which we've seen been going down for years, is like you have to market your game now. You don't know what for the most part, you're not guaranteed you're not going to come up against somebody who's been laying down hard foundation for years. And you think you're just going to pop in and drop your game because it's got a date and it's going to do well.
Not possible.
Days are gone.
Not possible. That Upload VR article that they do such a great job with, just to plug that, of updating the upcoming games. But just off the top of my head, I know we have Squingle, Ember Souls. We have Walltown Wonders, Thrill of the Fight 2 in early access. That's 4.
Is that launching with multiplayer?
Thrill of the Fight 2 in early access is only multiplayer. No
only
single player.
multiplayer. Dude, Damien, let's go, bro. Let's
man.
dance.
I don't know what goes on with me in VR boxing games. I know I'm faster than him, but he lights me up in
really?
Oh,
wow.
Beat the bejesus out
in
of you.
Creed. We were dying laughing.
Bro,
Literally in
I
tears.
played
Just.
a ton of Creed before understanding why I was getting lit up by my homie, and I was so pissed
you
when I
have
figured it out. Stamina. You can't just move your arms. Like you can't like get into a vibe and be like, come on, because all of this movement is draining my stamina bar. And I never knew that the entire time I played that game in multiplayer, and my buddy was just crushing me. Meanwhile, he's holding his hands still, super still. I was so pissed when I.
But Thrill of the Fight is all about using your actual body's stamina,
which runs out so fast.
Yeah, it does.
Your energy bar.
Your energy bar is definitely longer than mine, bro. Like 3 minutes of Thrill in the Fight, and I am done.
I'm excited for the second one, man. I'm excited for that multiplayer, man. Oh,
that is a big
awesome.
part of why I bought a headset, is like trying Beat Saber and knowing that Thrill of the Fight existed. I was like, if that's how good Beat Saber was, I mean, I can only imagine boxing somebody and boom. And I mean, dude, the game's like $9.99 and still one of the...
You know the best about VR too is like you can't blame like things that were never true anyways. It's always you as the player that's not good, but in VR it's like legit. If you suck, you suck. It's you. It's not the controller. It's not, you know, something. You have no excuse. You're the one doing everything.
Listen,
So
when I was trying to set scores in Beat Saber on my PlayStation VR, I was blaming the tracking every time. I was like, oh, this tracking.
Well, that was PlayStation VR, right?
Yeah.
So it was probably the tracking.
Possible.
You mean you can't do this?
Yeah.
What was the tennis game? What developer was it with the tennis game who offered
my goodness,
offered big money if they could send a video of their statement being true? Because he has a developer of one of the tennis games, and people would send him messages and being
first person tennis. I'm pretty sure it was.
The ball went through the racket, and he would just fire off like
he'd be like, if you can show me the video frame by frame of that happening, I'll buy you 2 copies of my game. He's like, because it's not.
I'll buy you lots of broken stuff. Awesome.
You missed it.
Dude, Jan from Beat Saber would say the same thing on social media when people would be playing Beat Saber and they'd be like, hey, I swear I hit that block. He'd be like,
no, you didn't.
Go back and look.
Send me a frame by frame and I'll show you where you didn't. You know,
hit the block.
And now I got a bone to pick with one game though, and that's Underdog Boxing, because they stole the name of one of my favorite VR games, Underdogs.
I know, right? What a great game that is. The voice acting in Underdogs is so phenomenal, man.
Underdogs great.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So cool.
Like you said, the voice acting, the music in it. That's not usually my cup of tea for music, but it fits that game.
They have their soundtrack available for purchase. Yeah.
Oh, do they?
I'm usually not a fan of the Gorilla Tag locomotion, but I love it in Underdogs. Like, I'm usually not a roguelike guy. Love it in Underdogs. Underdogs is a bunch of stuff that I usually don't love put together. That is one of my favorite VR experiences I've had, and that was at the start of the year.
And isn't that done by the same studio that did Racket NX?
Yep.
Which is wild, because I loved Racket NX, but man, you couldn't possibly be a more different game, right? Like, wow.
We interviewed Dave from the studio.
Dude,
that guy is
that guy's crazy.
You've heard of method actors, right? People that like get into character to do it.
Method developed.
He was like, I'm making a grimy game, a rough game. He goes, I need to move to a rough neighborhood. He's like, there's, Molotov cocktails going off outside my house. Couple grenades going off. He's like, I needed to get into it. He goes, I started training Muay Thai. Like, I have heard of a method actor, never a method developer.
Wow, that's insane. I love it.
But it shows in his product.
Oh, it's such a good game.
Bare Knuckle needs to.
Underdog Boxing. They just changed the name. You can change it one more time. I saw somebody say they should change it to Thrill of the Underdog, and I almost lost
Thrill of the Underdog.
I still stand by not Thrill of the Fight 2.
Yeah.
It's not Thrill of the Fight 2.
But poor Thrill of the Fight that they haven't come out with a boxing game in since 2019. And now finally they're about to, and now there's a couple other boxing games coming out this year as well.
Flat screen too, the one you just picked up, because that's getting a lot of more push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny they went so long without putting one out. Now there's Underdog boxing coming up.
I would not be trying to put out a boxing game at the same time as Thrill of the Fight. Yo.
I know, right?
No,
that is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Which again, early access. So
it won't matter.
Yeah. Thrill of the
People
Fight.
have waited so long. It's like it doesn't matter. You call it alpha at this point. Most people still play it.
And you know what's interesting? Like I was in Virginia last month, and my 12-year-old nephew used birthday and Christmas money and bought a Quest 3S, completely unprompted by me. We were just at Best Buy, and he saw a Quest 3S. He saw the price tag, and he's like, "I want this. Can I buy this, Dad?" And my brother's like, "Yeah, sure. It's your money. Go for it." So he's like, "Thanks." Bought a Quest 3S.
And then he never saw it because his dad uses it now.
Well, he went home and set it up. And
now he has a Quest 2.
In this order, once we got him up and running and installed, in this order, he played Beat Saber and then Thrill the Fight. Like, he decided what he was going to play, and he was like, Beat Saber's first, and then he's like, all right, Thrill the Fight time. And then he's just in there just throwing big old round punches left and right. And I was like, interesting that that is what he was drawn to. 12-year-old kid, could have played anything, could have launched anything off of the store and went Beat Saber and Thrill the Fight.
Well, it's wild to think about. I mean, you were stepping up to this jacked, huge boxer, and you're fighting them. When you really think about what you're doing there, that's pretty wild that you're able to pull, to do something like that, right?
For real.
Yeah, and it's I don't know. You just sometimes it's just
adrenaline.
Yeah.
I was in a fight the first time. Now it's not. Now it's I've done it so many times. It's calm, but the first time, and
dude, let's be honest. The first time when you started, you're not prepared for the dude to be right in your grill throwing punches and holy crap. Usually there's some distance between you and the.
I like to put people in that when they come over to my house, try VR. I'm like, try Thrill the Fight, because it's, I have a lot of MMA fans as friends, and all of them go into it and they take it off, and not all of them say that they have adrenaline, but you can tell. Their sweat and their eyes are a little wide. It's like, dude, yeah, you were just in a fight, my man, with no pain.
Man, I hope you have a separate facial interface for when you put friends in there, because if you're putting everyone in the Thrill of the Fight, that thing must smell.
Yes, back to back as a marathon. No, luckily these are usually different days, and I have multiple benefit of making videos and podcasts and stuff. You end up with quite a bit of accessories, and at this point, headsets
you have some
and
extras.
Well, there's a really interesting point that we're dancing around here when it comes to my 12-year-old nephew not responding viscerally to a large man punching him in the face in VR, because as an adult, all of my experiences in VR have been quite visceral. When something gets in my face, I'm like, whoa, get out of my face. And it's I'm so present and very much believing everything that's happening, at least to the extent where I have a physical reaction to it. And when I first played Propagation VR, I freaked out, dude. I was fight or flight, trying to talk myself out of taking the headset off because I could not handle it. And we made that an experience that we offered to attendees at Game On Expo a couple of years ago. Anybody who wants to come up, you're more than welcome to get in here. And we would preface Propagation by saying hey, just for the record, this is intense, yo. You might be freaked out in there. And we had with the
Pimax haptic suits, full awesome VR experience.
There was this kid who came up and we're like, hey man, it's pretty scary. And he's 8, bros, 8 years old. And he's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I don't care. Put me in it. And we did. And he went absolutely ham, just blasting. He comes back. He's like, I want to go again, but this time I'm only using my hands. And he stopped using weapons, and he played the entirety of the first level Propagation by punching every single zombie that approached him. Zero fear as an 8-year-old kid in an experience that I was shitting my pants while I was playing. What is it about kids going into these that gives them this armor of indestructibleness? They was not phased.
And we saw adults that couldn't handle it, that took the headset off. We saw adults that ran with the headset on.
Why do kids not care? Why can kids just go toe to toe with a boxer and be like, yeah, what's up, let's go, and fight them?
Pretty wild. About this before, but just think of it. These kids that are 8 years old, 9 years old, playing Gorilla Tag, maybe they're annoying in lobbies, maybe some of us were in our younger gaming days. I was always very mature, but these kids are going to be adults. They're going to mature, and they're going to be kids that grew up with VR from most of their memory. I talk about this a lot, that VR is not going to be something that they need to be convinced about, or a new technology or niche. VR to them is going to be like a cell phone, like a tablet, like a laptop. It's not going to replace these things. I'm a believer that it's just another piece of the technological pie, but there's no convincing them. It's just like, yeah, VR exists. Yeah, you play games on that. It's a thing. Whereas like you can talk to people our age and, you know, maybe they say, oh, I tried the cardboard version one time. You got to be like, no, it's so much better these days. Or they tried a Quest 1 or a Quest 2. These kids, there's no convincing. They're like, yeah, let's go into VR.
And it's hard to make a kid motion sick. Like their brains aren't like totally snapped into full reality yet. So to them, like it's a lot harder for them to get sick and experiences. They're like whipping around the thumbstick. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. So VR growing is a lot about this generation growing up with VR, right? Because then it's just going to be mainstream and normal to everyone. These kids are going to grow up buying all of the headsets as they have enough money to buy these things and not bugging their parents. It's going to be the thing for this next generation. 100%.
If you want an indication, go ahead, Stratus.
So take like a dozen of these kids that can play like the scariest VR games out there and they don't even flinch, but they enjoy it for the entertainment value that it brings to the table. And one out of these 12 kids is going to grow up and make a VR game someday, and it's going to scare him. So what the hell is that going to do for us?
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh
like,
boy.
If it's not scaring them now, and they're going to go on to develop something that could be in the horror genre, you bet your bottom line it's going to be like the scariest thing ever.
Yeah, there's probably like little psychological things in the scenery that aren't going on that like they recognize, so they're not getting scared. That because they recognize that they're not getting scared by that, they're, you know, when I make a game, I'm going to make something flicker right there, and that's a good point. We're seeing the like I can't. One time we were playing Flock of the Low God, which is.
I'm already laughing because I already know.
I was home. I was like, all right, I definitely got to try this game. I love the developers.
It was dirty, I admit.
I can't do horror games, but I'll do it because, I got to try it. I go in. By the time I finally try it, it's like 11 p.m. It's nighttime. I'm home alone. I'm in party chat with him. He's like, dude, the first 15 minutes, not that bad. Just get through it. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm about 5 minutes in. And I'm not liking the way I feel at home. I was like, I got I got bad vibes. Little do I know he already played, like, and knew what was coming, and there was bad things coming in about 10 more minutes. So he's just talking like, dude, it's not that bad. Just get through the first level. Like, there's not going to be any jump scares. I'm like, dude, I don't believe you, but I'll keep going. And then about 15 minutes in, something happened, and I went, I'm done. And he started pissing himself laughing.
Oh, it was the funniest.
Like, I knew that was going to happen. I was like, can't do horror games in VR. It's too.
I'm there with you, dude. I am right there with you. There are a couple of exceptions, like I was talking to Alex about earlier, like Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil 4 Remake. These games are so good, and the mechanics are so good, and the story and the AAA-ness of these games are so good that I will force myself to go through them anyway, and I'll have the best time ever. But it is very hard for me to do horror. Like I tried Madison. Oh my God. Like I had the graphics cranked up. I had everything on the highest settings. Whew, that game, man, I don't even know. I don't know how I can get through it. There are so many games out there that just chill me to the core, man. And it's tough. And to see little kids go in there and be like, I don't care.
Bro, I've noped out of horror themed rec room rooms made by users. Like I go into a rec room and I hear somebody whispering in my ear, and I was like, nope, I'm out of here, dude. Rec room I noped out of. But yeah,
I think while I was playing, I was like, nope, I don't like to feel like this. I like to laugh. I like to feel good.
You were so angry that you were gonna play the 15 minutes.
Dude, I don't want to do this. This is not why I play video games.
This isn't why I play games. This isn't why I go into VR. I do this because I love it. I do this because I love the games. I don't want to feel like this. Like, dude, you're gonna be fine, man. Just
nothing bad comes up. Knowing in about 5 more minutes.
The intro. You're fine.
Yeah, it's
go to the
so
shooting.
hard.
I'm right there, bro. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, but to your point, Skiva, like I didn't complete Resident Evil 7, but I did play it. I like at least got a few hours into that game, and those memories are up there. If I'm being honest, like the memory of like being under the floorboards while you can hear Jack like stepping above your
being
head,
hunted,
freaking, and like knowing that he could burst out of a wall at any it was so intense. Like in that game, I couldn't even cross the threshold of a door. I would like get to a door and be like. Oh God. But like, it's so hard to do. But when I think about my memories of playing VR games, like Resident Evil 7 is up there. Like,
and
like
8
the
is for me too.
Better than the experience.
but here's, so when I played through Resident Evil 7, I was completely convinced that within a very short time frame, we were going to start hearing about people that died of heart attacks in VR. Like, because the experiences were so terrifying and so scary that people were going to start dropping like flies. It didn't happen, but like, I felt like I was going to die.
Hey, we're not out of the woods yet, bro.
I know.
These things are just getting more and more realistic.
This is true. In Resident Evil 8, like the dollhouse section of that game, forget it, man. I probably skirted death. Like this. Like, my heart was beating so freaking fast. Like, I could have dropped it at any minute. That game is so terrifying, but it's so good. I had to push through anyway. But I had to take the headset off every 10 minutes and breathe and get my heart rate back down and just convince myself it's just a game. It's just a game. This is not real. And then put it back in and go through the same thing over and over and over again until I get past those intense parts. But man, it says a lot that a game can be so good that you're willing to endure that and feel like that because of the quality of the game and like the immersion of the game, the mechanics behind the weapons and the guns and the story. And oh my God, Resident Evil 8. Wow. It's like, to me, Resident Evil 8 alone, or even 4 remake, but probably 8, is if you could buy a PlayStation VR 2 and that was the only thing it did, it would be worth it.
Yeah. Do you guys have
PlayStation VR 2? I don't think it'll ever pull you off of Gran Turismo 7.
So I would someday hope I can get one just for Gran Turismo, and then I don't need anything else.
I feel like that title they should just
Resident Evil
out and promotional.
Resident Evil.
Gran Turismo 7 is so sick, man. It is so sick.
I've heard you speak about it before. Man, jealous.
Yeah.
It'd be honestly the only reason I'd ever want PlayStation VR. And other than that, I don't.
Synapse.
I'll say Resident Evil. I'll concede.
He's saying Synapse.
Gran Turismo.
He keeps saying Synapse.
Well, I know.
I've heard No Man's Sky looks great on it as well too.
It does.
You know what's been
it's incredible.
My biggest kick recently though is base building survival games. Like again, we talked about Grim at the top of the hour. I love Grim. Pretty much Rust in VR on Mars. And now Medieval Dynasty has their co-op mode in early access.
Dude.
Green Hell VR on the MetaQuest is teasing theirs coming. So now we're just spoiled with them. And now I'm even okay. I know it's not like true VR by any means, but sometimes I use the Xbox Cloud Gaming on my Quest because in my opinion, in a headset is also the best way to play flat screen games.
Absolutely.
Like I've even virtual desktop to my headset. I don't have a TV that big that I can move and dim the lights around.
Oh yeah,
me,
bro.
so
If I'm playing a Steam game, virtual desktop, massive screen that's the size of my wall, 100%. Yeah.
So I've been playing Power World a lot on Xbox Cloud Gaming.
Yes.
And now I want to buy it on the computer. If I remember correctly, you and Tribe Grey Wolf, right, were hooked on it in VR?
Yep.
Is that accurate?
Yep. I played that game almost exclusively in 6.VR. I played it a couple of times. I played it a couple times flat on a big screen in virtual desktop, but for the most part, Unreal Injector playing that game is great, right? Because you're like riding these things, you're flying around on dragons, like it's absolutely insane. You're going on raids with your friends. You got like, you know, like 8 people or something. You're like, come on guys, I found a cave, let's go see what's in there, right? And there's like some crazy pal in there. You all got your balls, you're trying to catch it before it dies. That game is phenomenal. I freaking loved Pal World. Oh man, so cool.
First time I played it, I mean, I was like, dude, you got to hop in and play this with me. So now that next thing you know, we're base building together. And we're like, I feel like this game would work so good in VR. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw Skiva and Tribe Grey Wolf playing it in VR. So man, I gotta pick it up on Steam now. Yeah, and do the Unreal VR mod on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some sales coming up. So
these guys to bring it to VR. I don't have to play a mod.
Flat to VR
flat to VR to bring it to VR.
Yeah, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, right? If you could, you would. It'd be a great thing to bring over.
Okay, everyone in chat, your audience, our audience, the more people go to these developers and say, we want this in VR, we want it, and if you can't do it, bring it to flat to VR. These things will happen, right? So get out there, pound on these people's doors, say we want this in VR, and flat to VR can do it.
Dude, it'd be a good one.
Our World's still in early access. I mean, I say, you know, hit you guys up now. And
someone in the chat bringing up Microsoft Flight in VR 2024 in VR. I haven't played it in VR yet, but I did play it on the Xbox.
Oh, Flight Sim?
Yeah, the new one.
He's a flight sim junkie. You did play the last version in VR.
And you haven't played Microsoft Flight Simulator in VR?
Not the 2024, the one that came out last night. No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Came out last night.
Gotcha. But I mean, even the last one.
Before, yes.
Yeah, I mean that's phenomenal, right? You could go anywhere in the globe, and it like reconstructed places from satellite images. Like it was insane. It was so good. I mean, granted,
I'm a junkie. So I get that. For PC, I use the Microsoft Flight and VTOL, which is freaking an amazing flight game.
Yeah.
And I can't get enough.
It's really cool stuff, man. I mean, and No Man's Sky, flying around those ships, dogfighting, absolutely insane. It's such a good time.
I've had a hiccup getting it to work on my computer, and I just know I need to spend an hour troubleshooting or whatnot.
You can't get it? What's it doing? Just out of curiosity.
It just won't really boot up. I'll go to the main menu and it just like kind of freezes up, and I've gotten a lot of stuttering and stuff. Never really had any stuttering with any other game.
So with the stuttering, so that game's intense, but with the stuttering, if you go in and you turn on the NVIDIA super sampling, the one that uses AI to reproduce frames, oh my God, man. That game goes from a mess to like almost perfection, right? Okay. It's like, but it's not by default. You got to go in there and turn it on.
That's the only thing you had to change with it?
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing. And then I was able to crank it up to like ultra settings. And it's just, you know, it's recreating frames using AI, and it was
so easy.
Absolutely awesome.
Just flip a couple switches.
Yeah.
And, you know, click,
flick the please don't be broken button.
Yeah. I was so nervous getting PC. I won't say nervous. That's exaggerating, but I'd always heard like, you know, troubleshooting stories with PC VR. And then I got PC VR, and I was like, well,
knock on wood, man.
At the time, now I have it, you know, plugged in directly to my router, but I had it running from Wi-Fi from my computer. I went downstairs, did virtual desktop from my headset to my computer, expecting the worst just based off what I heard. And only game I've ever had any hiccup with is No Man's Sky. Run everything flawlessly at max settings. So knock on wood, PC VR has been a extremely seamless.
It's gotten so much better
for me.
I mean, so inside out tracking, dude. Like with the phone, you don't have to set up base stations and stuff. Like it really is easy. Yeah.
Yep. And now with Unreal Injector, almost anything can be in VR. It's pretty wild. We're living in crazy times.
We are. Know? Yeah. I mean, I don't have like a PC VR headset anymore. Like I had my Vive Pro, you know, but since the Quest Pro, really, I haven't not even used it once.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I still like my Index, but I will tell you that just putting on my Quest 3 and like hitting virtual desktop and boom, there is everything. It all looks phenomenal. The resolution on that headset's insane. I have a really fast router. I can turn up the bit rate. It looks phenomenal. It is hard to go back to any other headset now. I mean, we're at a point where like wireless PC VR is pretty legit. Now, I still see compression. You know, it's ever so slightly there when it's not on my Index, right? But the Index is really getting dated now. That resolution is pretty low. The screen door is noticeable. Yeah. You know, I cannot wait for the Deckard. Oh my God, I mean, we've been talking about this for years now, right? And you never know. Valve could literally drop it any second. Yeah,
or you can just
4 years from
wait forever.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And what do you think about Half-Life 2 going for free last weekend for the 70th anniversary of Half-Life, and then being able to grab the Flat to VR Studios 70th anniversary of Half-Life, isn't it? No, 70. I'm sorry, not 70. Not 70. Not 70.
They were,
sorry.
Holy shit!
My bad.
As a comic
I don't know why. I don't know why I said 70. But
whatever decade it.
Yeah, like 1930s is when Half-Life came out.
Yeah, I got a game, see? Yeah. Got these guys over here, see?
Oh my God, what was it, 25 or something? I don't even know.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah. Of Half-Life 1. I don't know why it's 70, but anyway. Oh my god! But it's free.
Oh, that's awesome.
The VR mod is free, which is also published by Flat to VR Studios and worked on by one of our main developers, Kabbalistic. So you can have a full Half-Life 2 experience, including Episode 1 and 2, which is one of the greatest games ever made in the history of video games, all in VR, and you could have done it for free.
Half-Life 2.
Yep.
Play it in VR.
Yep.
Or
forever free or limited time free?
They're doing a limited edition sale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Let's see if it still is too. Wouldn't that be something if it's over? Or just talking about how great it was last week.
I think it is. I think that deal is done now.
Yeah, I think it is. And when you're in there admiring how amazing it is, think about how crazy cool this game is for being 70 years old.
All right, hey guys, listen, guys. I have terrible news.
What?
It's no longer free. Now Half-Life 2 costs 99 cents.
What?
So
what?
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that excludes basically everybody who's listening. You can pay $1 and get Half-Life 2 and then install the VR mod. And for $1, if you don't have it yet, you're playing Half-Life 2.
Which, by the way, the VR, don't let the word mod freak you out here. We worked with Valve to make this mod. It is literally, you go onto Steam, you type in Half-Life 2 VR mod, and then you just hit install, and that's it.
Bro,
that's it.
The orange
its own
box
store page. It's got 6,200 reviews, overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
The orange box is $2 for the weekend. $2 for the orange box, which also gets you Portal, all the other Half-Life stuff, Team Fortress 2. If you don't have the orange box, $2 on Steam. What are you doing? Just get it.
Remember when that came out with Team Fortress and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Valve has always just been such a passion project of a company.
Dude, it went to consoles, bro. That made me think that when PSVR 2 came out, Half-Life Alyx, I thought Half-Life Alyx was going to be a launch title for PSVR 2.
I did too.
Did.
What the heck? Why wasn't it?
Why is it still not there? I can't believe it's not on PlayStation. They could just port it, right?
They could. They absolutely could. But I think they were waiting to see how that was going to do. You know what I mean?
Yep. Dune, which I know I'm not even gonna tackle your name, bro. But Dune in the chat said Portal is worth $2 by itself. Yeah, it's worth more than that. Portal and Portal 2 are both so freaking good, man. Flat versions even. I guess there are VR modes. I've never VR mods. I've never played one, but the flat versions of those games are so damn good. Please play Portal if you haven't. Do yourself a favor and play Portal. It is such a good video game.
Yep, play Portal, play Half-Life 2 in VR. It is absolutely phenomenal. This game, it feels like it was made for VR. It really does. And it's the original Flat to VR Studios game, right? So go get it.
Yep.
Valve doesn't mess around. Everything they do is incredible. So
Yep.
do it to it.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping this thing up because we've been going. And,
just getting loose, man.
I know we can't do it all night. I could, but what we all.
I thought we were doing a 3 or 4 hour here.
I made a whole pot of coffee.
There's that Eastern accent, the East Coast accent. We could do this all night, guys. This is easy peasy, man. You get some podcasters together. We'll sit here and just bullshit about VR forever. Literally, we could do this forever. I think we could have a conversation that never ended.
Heck yeah.
I saw a quick cosplay laugh in the start. She goes, I like how the guests are now asking podcast questions.
We do. That's what happens, man.
Can't help it. I will say before we wrap it up, it's been awesome to see you guys and the multiple times we've been able to cross paths this year, man. It's been really cool.
I agree.
Honestly, with everything that's happened with where these locations have been, it didn't matter. It's been the meeting the people throughout the year that's been more important than where those meetings took place. They could have been in the backyard. It doesn't matter. The opportunity to get to see everybody in the VR space like that at that magnitude is just unfreaking believable. But to see you guys was friggin' cool too.
Oh, thanks. It's always amazing.
Steve's a good hugger.
It was, so I went to, a while ago, I went to Massachusetts and I called these guys up. I'm like, yo, I'm in Mass. Let's go. I know you guys are kind of far. I don't care. We're doing this. And they came out and they met up and we spent like a whole day together. It was super awesome. We even went and visited some VR studio that was out in East Bum, Massachusetts.
Nice.
It was great. We had a good time. And then hanging out in Germany at Gamescom and where else? And then at Connect, probably, right?
Connect,
I mean, we were on the it's been phenomenal. You guys are some of my favorite people in the world. I just, keep being awesome, and let's keep hanging out.
Yeah, it's really cool, that we have such an awesome community. You know, like there are probably communities in which our presences in the space would be considered rivals. It'd be like, oh, there's that other VR podcast who thinks they're really cool. We're cooler than them. And like I'm sure that exists in other communities, but here in the VR space, it really is a rising tides kind of situation. And it's been so awesome getting to know you guys and meeting in person, and now working with you, Damien, at Impact. And yeah, things are really good, and they're only getting better. And like I said at the beginning of the show, you guys have just done such an amazing job making a name for yourselves in the space with the most authentic approach that you could ever imagine to doing something like this. Like, you guys keep it a stack at all times, and it resonates with people, and you guys have been killing it. Like I said, I like, you guys are right up there. Like if I give it to you guys. Honestly, I give it to you guys. Between Realities and Ruff Talk, I think Ruff Talk has the edge in terms of the reachability, how many people listen, how many people are tuning in, how important it is, I think, for a lot of the different types of people who are trying to reach your audience. And we're lucky to have you guys. So keep up the great work.
Well, feel the same way about you two. You guys are so important for the industry as well.
And real quick, and you're correct, in a different platform, different area, no, we would be competing more and collabing less. But that's one of the things I like about this little area in the Wild West of VR right now, is like there still is no real rules. I see from a developer standpoint, those days are slowly dwindling away. But what we have going on as far as community, and whether you're a creator, podcaster, I think that's important, that we stay true to like what we all are when we started. So I don't see that changing in the immediate future.
Absolutely not.
And
amazing community.
Both of you.
This has been a great podcast too.
This was fun.
No shortage, no surprise that we didn't run out of things to talk about either. I think we easily could do.
Not once did I even look at my notes.
What notes?
I have some notes. They're right here.
What's something that's on there that we did?
Just some questions and stuff, but like I didn't even look at it. This was like the there's silence. Grab something real quick, right? Didn't need any of that. Didn't even look at it.
Well, that's what's up. Man. Tune in for a future episode of Between Realities where we need notes, because not everybody.
There's always notes.
I usually do the same thing. I usually, when I
just in case.
I usually have a 10 of like, if there's an awkward silence, just throw this out. Very rarely is it ever needed.
The 2-minute intro into the question for the yes answer. Yeah, I get it.
Well, and sometimes too, you're like, there's certain things that you just want to make sure you remember you ask or you talk about, right? So I make sure I always have that stuff in some notes, so I can kind of glance and take a look. And but yeah.
Listen,
didn't need any of that.
For the rare opportunity that someone's listening who is not already tapped into the Ruff Talk space, we have links in the description below to become subscribers of. Right, we do.
Please subscribe.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, go subscribe to Ruff Talk VR, Spotify, YouTube. They're on Twitter and all that stuff too.
Preorder Trombone Champ.
Preorder Trombone Champ. Join the Ruff Talk Discord. Don't even bother with the Between Realities Discord, okay? Just go to Ruff Talk. That's the place to be. All right, let's say goodbye to you guys. This was really fun. Let's do it again in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
1,000,000%.
For sure.
Damien,
the first guest of the season.
Damien and Brian.
Heck yeah.
The Ruffies. Thank you, Ruff Talk VR. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye, y'all.
Everybody say bye. Bye. Bye.
And there they go.
And they're gone. And just like that, the first guest of season 9 is under the belt.
Well, how do we top that now? Right? Jeez, the rest of these guests are just, they're going to have to work for it now.
I know. We'll have to like tap more into that interview style show, like asking questions and getting responses. Right?
Yeah. Right?
Hanging out with the homies. But yeah, I mean, for the record, like this is the vibe. Like this is the vibe everywhere. Like on this show, or if we're hanging out at MetaConnect, or if we're at Gamescom, like there is just such like a enthusiasm among all of us in the VR space that like we get to tap into this energy anytime we have the opportunity to connect with anybody who does anything here, whether they're a developer or a YouTuber or just a hardcore gamer or whatever. Like we are so lucky to have the community that we do in this space, and episodes like the one that we just did, you know, are evidence of that. And I feel very lucky that we're here, that we're starting a 9th season of this podcast, and we got to kick it off with the biggest VR podcast in the space.
Heck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yep, we got some good stuff coming up too.
Yeah,
so make sure you guys come back next week.
We do. We're not announcing who our guest is.
I mean, I didn't put it on the thing because I think we just kind of booked them today.
It's kind of penciled in.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a hint, we'll have some developers for our next guests. And I'm going to try to do this cadence of like industry professional and then content creator after, like because we have so many awesome content creators in the space that it can be easy to book like 5-6 episodes in a row with like all people who do YouTube, you know, and like to mix up the perspectives as much as possible. So I'm going to try to keep a cadence of like maybe a you know, maximum of every other creator, but I don't know, I can still see like us getting a month's worth of YouTubers and streamers, which I'm totally okay with.
Yeah. And there's so many great ones out there, right?
There
so
really
many
are.
Amazing people, and a lot of them are friends, and they're awesome. And but there's a lot of people in the space, and there's definitely no shortage of awesomeness in VR. So
we'll do our
bringing it.
Yeah, we'll do our best to shine a light into some of the less illuminated corners of our amazing industry, because some of these people are truly inspiring. And we've had great conversations with tons of people in the space, and we'd love to bring some of those to the show. So we're gonna go ahead and do that moving forward, and we'll continue to have guests every week. And if this is your first time here, thanks for joining us. Please like and subscribe. You know, become a Patreon if you have a money burning a hole in your pocket like Inferno.
Heck yeah, or become a YouTube member.
Or do that, or just buy Trombone Champ. That's fine.
Yes, that would be probably the best.
Yeah,
that would literally benefit every single person you've seen on the show. We're all involved. And we're just here to make VR as great as possible. So
okay, well, thank you all for tuning in again. Inferno 9, Sonic Gems, Bluebell, Red/Ace, MickeyBerr, Kenayar, Duggars K, Kevin Frost, Beat Saber Rita, Silver Nexus, Detton, Chadwick, Bluebell, Dune. I'm just going to call you Dune, bro, unless you can give me something else. I don't know how I could possibly say that. Derivative Films popped in here and was chatting for a little bit. Amelia Faust, of course, the champion of the Ruff Talk VR community. Thank you guys all so much for being here. We will see you a week from now at the same time, Wednesday evening here in the States, with another amazing guest from the VR space. Is that it?
That'll do it, man. That'll do it.
That's that, people. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you next week.
Later.